Commanders fans, we're finally free. Ron Rivera has finally been fired as the head coach of the Washington Commanders, and now the head coaching search can officially begin here as we enter a new era of Washington football here under Josh Harris moving forward. Welcome into the Commanders Report. I'm going to be giving you guys my reaction to today's news. We knew this was coming for quite a while, but I'm also going to let you know what I'm going to personally be looking for in the next head coach of the Washington Commanders. Before we get into today's breaking news coverage, make sure you click that subscribe button for me right now because, listen, over the next week or so, next couple of weeks, the head coaching search is going to completely dominate our content here on the channel. So do me a favor, click that subscribe button to get all the latest rumors, who they're bringing in for interviews, who they're thinking about hiring, all these different things. And then, of course, when they hire their new head coach within the next couple of weeks, we're going to have you guys covered with a video right here on the channel, 100% free. So do me a favor, click that subscribe button right now. All right, let's get into the news of the day, starting with the Commanders officially falling to 4-13 on the season with yet another blowout loss to the Dallas Cowboys, this time at home by a final score of 38-10. Sam Howell played, I guess, better this week, but definitely over this last second half of the season or so, he has not played good football. After the showing that he's had over the second half of the year, I'd be seriously surprised if the Washington Commanders do not have a new starting quarterback to man this offense at the start of the 2024 campaign. So, of course, with this loss, they go down to 4-13. And listen, we definitely had higher expectations for this season. We were hoping that Sam Howell was going to have a better, definitely second half of the season. He showed us some good things in the first half, and there was some hope there. But then they trade both Chase Young and Montez Sweat, and Sam Howell starts to play really bad. The defense was the worst in football this year. And now with this record, they officially have the number 2 overall draft slot in the 2024 NFL draft, putting them in prime position to go out and get a quarterback. Now, will it be Caleb Williams? Will it be Drake May? I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those 2 quarterbacks. And I think Josh Harris, being the new owner here, wants to make a splash, is going to do whatever it takes to try to trade up with the Chicago Bears to go get Caleb Williams at number 1 overall. But honestly, if you watch that Chicago Bears game today, and you saw the way Justin Fields played, I'm not sure if Justin has played well enough to continue as the starting quarterback there in Chicago. So honestly, if I'd have to predict it right now, I think Chicago's going to stay put. I think they're going to take Caleb Williams, and that, of course, means that Washington would likely get Drake May, number 2 overall in the 2024 NFL Draft. Now, still to come here on today's breaking news edition of the Commanders Report, I'm going to break down the Rivera era, kind of what the records look like, and kind of what his legacy will be here in Washington. And then also I'm going to be talking about who's going to be the next head coach of the Washington Commanders. I'm going to let you know my criteria for what I want to see in the next head coach here in the nation's capital. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks. And if you want to spice up your game days this NFL season, get started with Prize Picks. I know the season's over for the Commanders, but guess what? Prize Picks is still going on during the NFL postseason. So, of course, Commanders will not be playing, but you can still have a lot of fun right now with Prize Picks, which is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. You might be asking yourselves, Jack, how does this work? Well, here's how you play. You pick 2 to 6 players. If they'll go for more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can even win up to 25 times your money on any entry. You can check it out now at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. At Prize Picks, you aren't competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks that are just looking to take advantage of you. With Prize Picks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks. To get started right now, get your picks in before the NFL playoffs kick off. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use our code CLNS for first deposit match up to $100 today. That's code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. So listen, my reaction to the news that Ron Rivera is fired officially now is that we knew this was coming. We've known this pretty much since they traded away Chase Young and Montez Sweat, that they were kind of selling off their pieces. They're going to be resetting this offseason. And, of course, that means getting a new head coach handpicked by the new owner, Josh Harris here. And this is definitely the least surprising breaking news we've ever done on this channel so far. We all knew this was coming, but it's nice to get official word here that Ron Rivera will no longer be the head coach of the Washington Commanders, and for good reason, man. You look at his records here, and he only made the playoffs once with a 7-9 record his first year here in Washington. there in 2020, and then it's just been a lot of mediocrity and bad football over the last 3 seasons. 2021, big expectations, only get to 7-10, no playoffs. You get to 8-1 there in 2022, no playoffs again. He gets one more shot here in 2023 to prove that he can be the guy here in Washington with new ownership. And unfortunately, it just all came crumbling to the ground. The offensive line was terrible. The quarterback play, especially in the second half, was actually just not good whatsoever. And then the defense was arguably the worst in football. Only made the playoffs once here. And again, he had a 7-9 record. So was that really an earned playoff berth? I would argue no. So definitely not the best era of Washington football here. But the good news here is that it's time to start the search, all right? Brighter days are on the horizon. The Ron Rivera and the Dan Snyder era, to be frank with you, is officially over here with the exit of Ron Rivera. And now we can start looking forward to bringing in a really good head coach to man the next, hopefully, era of winning football here in Washington for years to come. And the things that I'm going to be looking for here when it comes to the Washington Commanders and their head coaching search, first and foremost, I want to find somebody that's a really good leader, that's capable of being a great leader of men and commanding the respect of an NFL locker room. These are the best players in the world at what they do, right? So if you're going to be going in there and you're going to be pretty much giving them their marching orders, they got to respect you. So you got to be a legitimate leader. You got to have some charisma. You got to be able to come in and you got to command the respect of the best players in the world here in the National Football League. Also, I do not want a defensive head coach, all right? I'm going to put that out right now. I would prefer an offensive head coach because it seems like the Commanders are going to be bringing in a young quarterback for the future, and I think it's well established in the National Football League nowadays that if you have a defensive head coach and you draft a quarterback, that quarterback's chances of making it in the National Football League are significantly less. So I'm going to be shifting my focus here to an offensive head coach, an offensive mind to kind of usher in the next era of Washington football here in the nation's capital. And also, I want somebody with great connections to D.C. candidates. Of course, if the head coach is going to be handling the offensive side of the ball, you need to have somebody, a great partner in crime, so to speak, to be the defensive coordinator and kind of get this defense on the right track because we all know how bad this defense was in 2023. Now, shout your guy out down there in the comment section. Who do you want to be the next Washington Commanders head coach here in the nation's capital? I'm going to be giving you my names here either later today or tomorrow in terms of my top 10 head coaching candidates. I'm going to be putting this video out either later today or tomorrow, depending on when this video ends up going out and when this news breaks. But, man, I think that offensive minds is definitely something that they're going to have to be looking at here. I'm probably not going to be putting too many defensive head coaches on my list just because, like I said, if you're going to be bringing in a new young quarterback, you want somebody that can come in and foster that development. So I'm going to be giving you my top 10 names on the next video here on the Commanders Report. So make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss that one when it eventually comes out.